Hey everybody, Mr. C Gaming here, and I just wanted to do a little disclaimer before the video, and I wanted to apologize for any shoddy editing or any mess-ups with my mic. I remember in the playback that there was a little bit of fuzziness, or it wasn't feedback, but there's just something iffy with my microphone. And so I wanted to apologize for that. Sometimes I had to trim the videos, cut the videos. Sometimes my editing is not perfect yet. This is a new channel, and I just want to say, if you are watching this video, I really appreciate the support, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hello everybody, what is going on? Mr. C Gaming here, and today we're going to be reviewing what exactly mobility, resilience, and recovery do to your character. Now, all the information I got today, I ripped straight from Meadow Gaming's channel. He did all the testing. He got all the numbers. He got all the percentages. He did everything, all the field testing. Now, all this testing was done in the beta. However, all the same numbers and same percentages still apply to the released game. Only difference now is that in the beta, you can only have a total of 12 points in all three of them. Now you can have a total of 14, right? So what I mean by that is, in total, this mobility, resilience, and recovery adds up to 14 points, while in the beta, it would only add up to 12. So they gave you 2 extra points. Now, we are going to start off with mobility, just because it's first on the list. And for the testing, he came up that 1 mobility point was equal to an increase in jump height by 0.95%. So if you add 12 mobility points, it was equal to an 11.4% increase in your jump height. Now, I don't have the stats for the 14 points mobility, but that doesn't really matter because it is impossible to get 14 in any one stat. For example, I have this armor, the Took Offense. I lied. I don't have that armor anymore. So, for example, there is a chest piece in the game that you can get from Zavara, the Strike Titan guy at the Traveler. He gives you an armored chest piece called the Took Offense that has 3 resilience points and 1 in mobility. So there's 4 points, there's 4 total points that you can have in a chest armor piece. There's 3 points in a helmet, gauntlets, and leg armor. There's 4 total points in the chest armor. Now, because you can only have 3 points in each, like a maximum of 3 points in each one of the slots, that means you cannot get all 4 points into, say, recovery. So with my road complex, I have 2 recovery, 1 mobility, 1 resilience. I cannot get a 3rd point into my recovery. In fact, this is the restorative mod to put another point into recovery. So it's just impossible. Now, mobility is somewhat useful in this game. Mostly for raids and platforming and, say, trying to get chests when you're searching and stuff. However, it is somewhat situational, but it's one of those things of when you need it, you probably won't have it, so you should always keep a few pieces on you, or maybe just change your traits to give you more mobility. I'm trying to find an example here. Like this, exactly. See, I can just give myself another point mobility just by changing the trait on my Exodus down leg armor. The next thing we are going to be covering is the resilience stat, and this is a little more useless than I thought it was going to be. Once again, according to Meadow Gaming's testing, 1 resilience point is equal to approximately 1% in damage reduction. Approximately. His exact number was 0.921% in damage reduction. So he tested at the Vex's electric pools, or I think, quote unquote, he said Vex milk. So yeah, so when he was standing in the pools with anything between 0 and 8 resilience, it took him 13 shocks or 13 hits from those pools to die. Anything with 9 resilience or above, it took 14 hits. So it's a 1 hit increase. Now, he also says that the biggest thing to worry about is how hard you are getting hit and at what rate. So, for example, this is also his example. So a theoretical attack in game. So say there's a in theory, if there was an attack in the game that could take 50% of your health, Having just one resilient point would increase the shots to kill you from 2 to 3 shots. So, again, if it's high damage, maybe throw in some resilience. If not high damage and you're getting hit a lot, then maybe resilience isn't necessarily a good thing, like the Vex pools. So, is there necessarily like a good resilience number to like just for a general baseline? Well, again, that depends on what is damaging you and at what rate and how hard it is hitting you. So there's not really a great number that I can give you. However, I would always try to shoot for at least some resilience, even if it's just 1, 2, 3 points. So the last stat we have is recovery. Now, recovery itself says it increases the speed at which you regain lost health. Now, that is kind of confusing in the sense that it doesn't do that, actually. I mean, it does, but it's a little shoddy of wording. So what it actually does is it's a faster startup time to recover your shields. Not a faster health regen, not a faster shield regen. It starts faster. So let me explain that. At 0 recovery points, it takes 7 seconds for your shields to start regenerating. Okay? At 2 recovery points, it takes 6.6 seconds for your shields to start recovering. At 6 recovery points, it takes 5.8 seconds. So based on that math that John Meadow Gaming did, 1 recovery point is equal to 0.2 seconds, a 0.2 second decrease in the time it takes to start regenerating your shields. Again, I cannot exaggerate this enough, that it is the startup time on when your shields start to recover. Okay? So this is actually very useful. I guess this is a trait. It's a very useful trait. So I would definitely try to put a lot of points into your recovery trait, because the more points you have into the trait, the faster your shield startup begins. Now this does not affect your health when it gets into the red zone. When your shields drop and you get into the red zone, that is your health. Now that is locked at a 3-second timer to start regenerating, and then it stops at your shields, and then that is the point where the recovery kicks in. So I guess in theory, 12 recovery points offers you 4.6. It starts after 4.6 seconds, which is a drastic reduction from that 7-second startup time. And once again, John Meadow Gaming did all of this research. I am just completely ripping his research from him, and I'm just explaining this to you also. So I am sourcing my information. I hope you guys don't hate me for that. I just really didn't have time to do all of the research myself. I do apologize for that. I will link his videos in the description if you do want to see the actual testing and the actual numbers and the actual percentages done by him. I will do that. Now, I did go out of my way to find you the best armors for the recovery stat. Okay? So the first armor set we have is the Road Complex AA1 set, which it has the Survivalist Hunter Armor mod. That is immediately improved recovery. So, and you look at the traits, it starts off with this Plasteel Reinforcement mod, which offers 1 point in all traits, mobility, resilience, and recovery. Well, you change that, it takes away a point from resilience, puts it into recovery. So, that's pretty good. So now you have 1 mobility, 2 recovery here. I am using the Young Ahamkara's Spine, which offers me 2 resilience, 1 recovery. Can't necessarily make that go back to recovery. However, I do use this class for PvP. But the Road Complex AA1 Gauntlets offers you 2 mobility and 1 recovery. Put that here. That is 1 mobility, 1 resilience, 1 recovery, if you change the traits, right? So I haven't really found another set that can offer you more than 1 recovery. If I'm wrong, please do let me know. I would love to know where I can get that. The other chess piece is the Road Complex AA1. Now again, you can change the traits on this from 1 mobility, 2 resilience, and 1 recovery. You can drop this trait down to 1 mobility, 1 resilience, 2 recovery. And all of the Road Complex AA1 armor pieces all have the Survivalist Hunter mod, which does improved recovery time. Now, I don't have the Road Complex AA1 leg armors, or the greaves, whatever you want to call them. However, I have not come across a single leg armor in this game that offers a recovery points. It's the craziest thing. I don't know if I'm just blind. I mean, I checked all of the planets. I'm actually here at on Io with Asher Mir, and that brings me into the second armor set that is very useful for recovery, and I think it's the only other set that is a recovery based set for hunters in this game, and that is the Jensen Knight set. And this is not a bad looking set. It almost looks like an armored warlock hunter mix. It looks awesome. So again, the greaves, no recovery, even with the traits. If you try to change it, just shoots one down into resilience, so there's kind of nothing you can do, but you know, you always want to match, eh? So Jensen Knight Cask, 1 mobility, 1 resilience, 1 recovery. You can drop this down, 1 mobility to 2 recovery, and it has the trait of Survivalist Hunter, or the mod of Survivalist Hunter armor for improved recovery. Just like every other piece in the set, they all have the Survivalist Hunter armor. So let's just compare that to the chest armors. I mean, they do the exact same thing. It's just on which fashion you prefer. I am a Dark Souls 3 player. I do say fashion. I do apologize if that irks any of you. But yeah, so it's which fashion you prefer. So this, you can drop a point into resilience, put that in recovery, and it will be the same as the RCAA1. Again, no leg armor I have seen in this game yet that has recovery. Maybe there's an exotic piece out there. I'm just not sure. So yeah, these are the 2 best, possibly, in my opinion, the 2 best armor sets in the game for hunters because it offers great recovery. In total, this can offer you, let's do some quick math. So that's 2, that's 4, oops. So that's 4 recovery points, and it has all of the mods of the Survivalist Hunter armor on them. So definitely not bad. The RCAA1 does have the Survivalist Hunter mod on all the pieces as well. So again, up to you on how you want to look. Where can you get these? Well, the Jensen Knight set is obviously on Asher Mir from the planet Io. However, that Rogue Complex AA1, the RCAA1 set, that can be that is given to you by just bringing possibly even legendary engrams to the the Cryptarch on the Traveler, or you can turn in the tokens. You can turn in the tokens and give them to these guys, because these things down here, they change every so often. So I would always go over here, hit Y, or I guess triangle on PlayStation, and check what is down here in the additional rewards. See if there's an RCAA1 piece that you need from anybody. I mean, this can be given to you by anybody, from Zavala, Ikora, anybody in the game. As long as it's down here in additional rewards, it is worth the, I guess, the risk to take the engram. So yeah, that's where you can get the armor. That's what all the stats means. Hope you guys learned something today. I will see you next class.